Good afternoon. This is Don with Truth Be Told, broadcasting out of Arizona. And we have a couple interesting stories here we hope you might enjoy. And without ado, let's go ahead and move right to them. First one, billionaire BET founder wants 14 trillion in black reparations now. How dare this guy? BET founder Bob Johnson called for 14.7 trillion reparations package for 42 million African Americans back in June of last year. Johnson's plan will offer $350,000 and 767 cents, a one-time cash payment, to every African American in the U.S. today who are descendants of the 1800s. Johnson argued during the pandemic that now is the time to go big with the $14 trillion plan. Yeah, we're rich. We can afford to pay everybody. Johnson says the big leap will solve the problems in today's black community. Yeah, I bet it would. Johnson added that the $14 trillion will come from redistribution. Wealth transfer is exactly what's needed. Just like every communist. Here, let's see what this winner's got to say.
Now is the time to go big. Short answers to long, horrific questions about the stain of slavery are not going to solve the inequality problem. We need to focus on wealth creation and wealth generation. And to do that, we must bring the descendants of slaves into equality with this nation. And that's what I proposed in this $14 trillion proposal to.
I think that's about all I can hear of that guy. That was just a horrible time in our history, but the United States is not the only one that participated in that. Okay, it says, but now Robert Johnson is more urgent. The BT founder and billionaire is wanting his 14 trillion reparations plan now. Well, if he's a billionaire, why doesn't he give his billions for reparations? Vice.com reported. The founder of BET is pushing 14 trillion reparations proposal. He says would provide enough to close the giant B-white wealth gap. Robert L. Johnson, the founder of Black Entertainment Television, America's first black billionaire, wants a check. He wants it from the government, and he wants it to come with an apology for slavery, Jim Crow, and the hundreds of years of racism. The 75-year-old media magnate owns several homes and heads an assessment management firm and was the first black person to own a majority stake in the NBA team. He doubts that check will ever come, but he sees a new kind of reparations being called a different name so as not be divisive or controversial happening already. The new reparations is critical race theory education. It's the housing grant program in Evanston, Illinois. It's the $5 billion of targeted support and debt relief for black farmers, and it's the $50 billion in corporate pledges in the wake of George Floyd's murder, dedicated to combating systemic racism and inequality. Even though just $250 million, or 0.5%, has actually materialized so far. I think that's about all I can stand to this report. Moving on, it says report more than 500,000 illegal immigrants crossed the border since Kamala Harris was put in charge of it. In the short time since Kamala Harris has been supposedly in charge of the crisis at the border, 500,000 people have illegally crossed into America. That number is absolutely staggering, and it's growing every single day. How is this sustainable? The Washington Free Beacon reports. More than 500,000 illegal immigrants crossed southern border since Kamala Harris named border Caesar. Vice President, I said it. Kamala finally visited the southern border 3 months after being put in charge of solving the immigration crisis. Boy, that left a bad taste in my mouth. In that time, more than 500,000 illegal immigrants were apprehended at the southern border. Arriving at El Paso on Friday, the VP continued to attack journalists for asking questions about why she waited so long to make the trip. "It's not my first trip. I've been to the border many times," Harris snapped, apparently referring to the previous visit she made as a senator. Since I'm not saying that word in front of his name, Slow Joe made Harris his border Caesar. On March 24th, illegal immigrants have crossed the southern border at a record rate of nearly 180,000 per month, according to U.S. Customs and Border Protection. CBP agents apprehended 178,854 illegal immigrants at the southern border in April, which is, at the time, the highest monthly figure since April of 2000. At least it was until the following month, when CBP agents apprehended 180,034 illegal immigrants attempting to enter the country. When the CBP data for June is reported next month, the total number of illegal crossings since late March is likely to surpass 500,000, which would mark a tremendous increase compared with last year. This just makes me sick. And moving on. Aggressive BLM activists blocked Minneapolis City Council member's car and forced her to sign a statement saying Rioter's charges will be dropped. Jeez. A vehicle Minneapolis City Council member Andrea Jenkins was blocked by BLM extremists until she agreed to sign a statement agreeing that rioters would not be charged. The media has completely ignored this incident, which many are describing as a hostage situation. Exactly. Why weren't they arrested? If this weren't comical, it would be pathetic, and not one mainstream media outlet reported on a sitting city council member being held hostage for 2 hours and coerced to sign a statement agreeing to terrorist demands before being allowed to leave. Crime Watch Minneapolis tweeted with a link to the live stream. Oh my word. Eventually, Jenkins signed the statement as tension between BLM mob and the white woman driving began to escalate. Jenkins is a BLM matter activist herself, but that did not stop the mob from berating her for not doing enough to comply with their demands. Oh my word. What is America coming to when we can put up with this kind of garbage? All I can say is thank God he's in charge, our Lord and our King. And Jesus Christ is getting ready to make a big move in America. So stay on your knees, stay in prayer. It's more important than ever. And we are going to see some miracles happen over the next few months, that's for sure. This is Don V with Truth Be Told, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and we are out of here.